Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 66 of Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. In the last part, we finished the Leaden Key activity in the Calig or something like that. Well, we're gonna go talk to Lady Webb about it, and then she'll probably mention the actual name of it. 'Cause I don't think I can remember the actual pronunciation, but she will tell us, and that's all that matters. Because right now we're kind of lacking main quest to do, so.
How fares your search? Well, let's hear it.
The Leaden Key has manipulated a group of Griffin machines that span the country, and it seems to be causing a Hollowborn epidemic.
I had feared they might be involved in Aldwyn's legacy. It seemed too extreme even for them. How naive I've been. The Leaden Key's conspiracy is clear now. They have used Angwithan technology to engineer Aldwyn's legacy, and they want people to blame animancy for it. As we speak, the Duke is holding hearings in the palace. He is listening to arguments for and against animancy. When they finish, he is expected to decide whether to outlaw it. It seems the Leaden Key has been pushing Deerwood down this path for some time. I, for one, would enjoy seeing their little scheme fouled up at the last moment. Our Duke must hear what you have to say. Unfortunately, the hearings are closed to the public, which makes the Duke inaccessible until they are completed. However, certain groups have been invited to attend. You might get in with one of them if you aren't above a little pandering. There are delegations from the Knights of the Crucible, the Dozens, and from House Dominel. If you can gain the support of one of those groups, that may be your best way in. See what you can arrange.
I want to discuss the hearings at the
What
palace.
of them?
Wouldn't they allow a guest of Dunning Road into the hearings?
We would only do that as a last resort. Walking in with one of the 3 invited groups puts you in a position of influence. Walking in alone as a representative of Dunreed Row would earn you distrust among all the rest. It seems our organization has a reputation for nosiness and manipulation for whatever reason. It would be best if people did not see Dunreed Row's hand in this. Easier for them to embrace the truth.
What is there to know about the Duke?
Avar is many things to many people, and that is why he sits the throne. To the frontiersmen, he is one of their own. To the patriotic, he is a sole descendant of Admeth Hadrit. To the nobility, he is from an old and established family. All of these are half-truths or exaggerations, a tale he has spun around himself. The man behind the tale may not be the greatest mind in Deerwood, but he knows people. He knows when they are sincere and when they lie. He knows when they are strong and when they are weak. The other matters he leaves to me. Outwardly, he prefers to come off a bit of a simpleton. Don't be fooled. Before he was a duke, he was a trapper, and an excellent one at that.
Farewell then. So, let's go speak to the Knights Crucible. The Knights of the Crucible. They'll be our way in. Though how much they're gonna want to let us help us is dependent, I guess. So that's was it O? Trying to figure out what it's C. Yep, that makes sense. So yeah, the Knights Crucible, we are a champion of their order. I don't see a problem. I think they'll just jump at the chance to have us do it. Right, straight into the things here. Let's see what the commander has to say about our soon-to-be request. Can't see him being overly bothered, admittedly, but you never know in these days in RPGs. Something so simple can sometimes piss off the simplest, like one of the weirdest, in the weirdest ways and whatnot. All the way over here. Good, we don't seem to be under attack this time, so that's good. I don't know why he calls them Justiciar. That still bothers me. It just call them Justicars. He smiles warmly. What may I do for you? I understand the Crucible Knights are attending the Animanti hearings at the palace.
Indeed. Duke Avar looks to the Knights for prudent counsel as well as defense. I suspect our future as a city and a nation will depend in no small part on how we handle this matter.
What do you think about Animancy? We'd be fools not to investigate it further. I've seen what those researchers in Brackenbury can do. Building constructs, diagnosing soul melodies, harnessing raw essence. There's great potential. Detractors say it's too dangerous, that it angers the gods. Superstition and nonsense. They are risks to delving into souls, of course. But the greater risk lies with doing nothing, all while the legacy eats away. Tell me about the hearings. He gives you a gruff frown. They're progressing slower than I'd like. The dozens that raise a ruckus whenever anyone so much as mentions Animancy, and the Dummels are obfuscating masses on purpose. Nevertheless, I'm confident Avar will see reason eventually. I need an audience with Duke Avar. I'd like to attend the hearing. And would be glad to have you with us. Avar will no doubt find your presence persuasive, and we need all possible support to see that he gives Animancy a fair chance. Indeed. Nope. Literally nothing else there, mate. Cheers, dude. See, this is what I can't believe I thought the Knights Crucible first would just be Monty pricks, but to be fair, they really are they're the good guys in the sense of they're all for progression, and I mean they try to be knightly. I mean, just because there's a few kinks in the chain doesn't mean that they're shit. Right, straight back to Brackenbury right now. Yeah, XP is going to take a little bit to get, but we'll get there. We will get there. To Brackenbury. And then straight over to here. We don't want to be late now, do we?
Ever woken up to find your other half used your body during the night?
I don't think I understand you. And I'm not sure I want to.
Well, I've found that if I go to sleep hungry enough, I wake up covered in blood and delightfully full.
This guy's got fucking problems, ladies and gentlemen. He's got fucking problems. Shit. Right, let's go see what Lady Webb has to say.
How fares your search?
If I'm going to do this for you, I think it's time you told me everything about Faust.
I've told you everything you need to know.
But not everything.
It's only right that you know everything. When I was younger, before Dunreed Row, I had many suitors. These were fine-looking men of good stock, but I could see their thoughts, and they were unimpressive. Boys' thoughts. I toyed with their affections. I resented all of them. And then I met a man whose mind was a mystery to me. But he understood me. He knew me at a glance, told me things I didn't know about myself. He was neither handsome nor charming, but he was all I ever wanted.
You're talking about Theos.
We made a game of my gift. He would ask me about people, and I would tell him what they were thinking. Sometimes the information was very sensitive. And then one day he asked me if I trusted him. I said I did. Next I knew I was donning a silver mask and swearing oaths to Woodica. Using my gift for the Leaden Key still felt like a game to me, so I did it. I did it because it pleased him.
But it didn't last.
I don't like living in the dark. It's a powerless, hopeless feeling. Every day I did things without knowing their purpose. Every day I loved a man without knowing his thoughts of me. I sensed that there were things he wanted to tell me. I sensed that he knew everything the Leaden Key was created to hide. But Theos was unyielding. One day I disappeared without a word. He would kill me for it, and I knew that. It's their rule. I just wanted to see him plunge the knife, because then I would know. But the day never came. He has left me to wonder. I have devoted my years to learning everything I could about him, in hopes I would find some clue as to who he really was, and why he felt he had to keep his secrets locked away. I have precious little to show for it. Just an old woman nagged by old thoughts. And that is truly everything I can tell you about Theos. I hope you will accept this embarrassing story as a show of my good faith.
Fair enough. I want to discuss the Animancy hearing at the
What
palace.
of them?
The Knights Crucible have accepted me into the delegation.
Good. Avar Wolfgren looks to the Crucible Knights as a voice of reason and order. Speaking from their section should lend you credibility with him. You need waste no more time here. Get to the palace. Make your case to the Duke. With him on our side, all of Deerwood can be mobilized against the Leaden Key, and Theos can be rooted out. I only wish I could be there to see it. There is a very old bottle of a very good brandy that I have been saving for a special day. If you hurry back afterward, there may be a little left for you. Off with you. You're going to do very well in there.
Yeah, that's probably not true, but anyway, well, I'll take your. I'll pretend you're right for now, game. Right, let's get ourselves to the palace. We may as well just go straight in. I don't see a reason not to. There we go, over to the big fucking doors over here. What have we got on our current... What's that? Oh, yeah, so we got a job, and this guy's still pissed off at us, which... Yeah, sounds about right. Straight into the hearing. Oh, I'm up here. Thank you. At least the AI, at least the guy told me. The room below is animated amidst a heated debate. All the representative groups are easily discerned in the crowd. Crucible Knights, stiff in their noisy armor, sit in one section, and another are well-dressed members of House Dominel, casual and watching with a predator's interest. Still elsewhere are the ramshackle dozens who have made no special effort to dress up for their liege lord. Interspread are animators in their academic robes with expressions either sour or concerned.
Well then, answer me this, Master Barash. If you animancers represent our best hope to cure the legacy, what progress can you demonstrate?
As I've said, it isn't about progress, it's about potential.
My house would agree, Your Grace. We see great potential in its future.
And I suppose your blazing profits during the legacy don't have nothing to do with that, do they, Dominel? You can't have it both ways no more! Animancy goes, or this country goes!
So you admit, Master Barask, that animancy is no closer to stopping the legacy than it ever was?
No, we've had many promising experiments. Cadman Azo has shown...
Cadman Azo murdered a child. For a complete failure. We should be hanging him right now for what he done. The dozens won't stand for it.
The experiment failed, yes, but his work...
His work was sabotaged.
Ah, our new delegate from the Knights of the Crucible. What makes you say sabotage?
Emit a false patient in Brackenbury Sanitarium who had tempered with Azo's machinery.
The fuck's that even matter? These are people who would toy with the lives of our children.
Indeed. Even assuming there was sabotage, is this Animancer Azo not still accountable here?
Yeah, those who know me around here know me to be fair in judgment. Cadum Azo should be held innocent.
Horseshit! These Animancers can't be trusted! Look at what happened in Heritage Hill! Our supposed protectors from Crucible Keep can't even clean up the messes Animancy leaves!
Your Grace, we'd have a much easier time of it if our knights weren't so occupied trying to keep their organization from igniting a revolution on our very doorstep.
Heritage Hill is blood on your hands, Justiciar! You turn a blind eye, and look what happens!
I have been to Heritage Hill since the quarantine. The Knights were unable... Right, no, the Crystal Knights are blameless here. This was not the working of animancy, but an ancient device in Tier No End.
You've some strange taste in travels, friend. The height of your tales expands with every breath.
My word is my oath. I challenge anyone here to find someone who knows different.
I had heard whispers of a new delegate set to attend today's hearing. I admit that your candor was mentioned more than once. Tell us what you saw in Heritage Hill.
TNOF houses an Englyph machine that holds dominion over the flow of souls. It was this machine that made their district undead. Do you think that was the machine's purpose, or just a dire side effect? Kind of shudders. But then, why would the Englyphans build such a machine at all?
Even if it is as you say, we have testimony that a group of animancers had been spending time there. Surely their tinkering had something to do with this.
Their presence doesn't prove cause. Their testimony is not evident. It is a guess.
Animancy has many enemies. You need only look around this room to see it.
You're missing the point! Everywhere there's Animancers, there's disaster! We all know what Widewind's legacy's really about. And it ain't about some sparkling saint from Creed Ceres who's mad because he took a stroll down the wrong bridge!
Ha! Wrong bridge indeed.
It's about a bunch of so-called intellectuals fucking with the natural order while the rest of us gotta suffer for it!
Is it, though? Should we not take the time to reach a clear conclusion? I mean, what proof do we have?
My son and daughter are buried beneath the floor of my house. We don't own no land, so that's where we lay them. My son. My wife let him slip when she was bathing him. Got water in his lungs he couldn't cough up. My daughter? We put her to bed one night, and the next morning she wasn't breathing. This Hollowborn thing, it ain't ending. And it ain't ending because we still let these charlatans play God. There's your proof, you damn copper fucker!
Enough, Adric. Lady Dominel makes a point. If it's animancy, then why do the other states that permit the practice not suffer the same fate? Who among us can say he truly understands why the legacy has taken hold here?
I can. The crowd begins to mutter, the sound taking a doubtful character. Right idea, Watcher. This hearing by the curly ones. Don't wait your chance. Waidwin's legacy is the creation of the Leaden Key. Caedmon Ezra's downfall was their work. As with the tower in Heritage Hill, they want you to do this. They want animancy to fall. The dull muttering expands into a din of skepticism that fills the hall. I have seen them in the ruins of Inglanfeth, operating machines that disrupt and redirect the flow of souls, near towns like Gilded Vale and Deerfoot, where the legacy is universal. As a watcher, I have heard the dead confess their plot. They are stealing the souls of the unborn.
Beasts. Another lunatic at the hearing. Did you remember to lock your sanitarium before you left, Master Barask?
You shame your order by dismissing the truth before hearing it, madame. I expected better from a Knight of the Crucible.
You must know, friend, that the Leaden Key is a mantle for small-time ruffians and children at play. I'm not saying you're a liar. Not yet. But you'd better start making sense of all this. Help us believe you.
You know, we'll go for honest. If you know anything about me, you know this. I have been called many things, but never a liar. An honest witness is the best piece of evidence you have in this matter.
The only piece of evidence.
The only piece of evidence that doesn't send your kind to the gallows, you mean?
You've made an unexpected case, friend. I'll say that much. It seems we have a new possibility to consider, at the very least. How was it you came to learn all this?
The Knights of the Crucible were instrumental in aiding my investigation.
I see. I'm impressed the Knights seized such an unlikely opportunity to find an end to all of this. But these hearings are about more than Waidwin's legacy, even though that is our most pressing concern. Let's say for the moment that I were to take you at your word that our friends in Brackenbury Sanitarium and their peers bear no responsibility for this curse upon my country. I'm curious, what would you do if you were in my position?
Animancy should be studied in Deerwood. If you don't, somebody else will, and they will wield great power over you. Alof shakes his head. Animancers serve their own ambitions, their own purses. Giving them power is like setting a child loose in an armory.
Very well. That is all I wish to hear. Not just from you, but from everyone. Many days we've been at this. It is time we put it to rest. I want to thank the delegations for helping me collect my thoughts. And our new delegate, who has warned us of a new possibility that must be looked into. The time has come to choose a direction for the Deerwood. I am ready to make my pronouncement. Ramir de Barash, representing the interests of animancers in Deerwood, step forward.
Your Grace.
It occurs to me now, my concerns about animancy may not outweigh its value.
Forgive me, Your Grace. We will accept no judgment but our own.
What's he doing?
No, wait!
Stop this! At once!
I've given you every chance to end this pursuit. Shall I end it for you? Another time. I am already late.
The words, "Shall I end it for you?" ring in your ears. You find yourself gasping for breath, struggling to keep your own balance. You drop to a knee and watch as Theos hurries out of the building. The word dims around you. The screams and clashing of weapons fade into silence. All that remains are the words.
Shall I end it for you?
Theos stands at the pulpit high above an assembly of robed onlookers, you among them, clustered around a wide, circular pit of carved stone. He addresses a woman bound backward over a large iron wheel overlooking the great stone moor. Many of the woman's fingers and toes are severed, and the bottoms of her feet are charred black. The skin on one side of her face looks like melted candle wax, black and red seeping, and the angle of her back suggests a spine in ruins. Yet, for all that, her expression betrays little of her anguish.
I am already at peace, Grand Inquisitor. Are you?
Her eyes are barely open, and her words come between strangled breaths, but they are steady, unbroken.
So be it. If you desire no end, you shall have none. I find you guilty of heresy. May the eternal prison bar your soul from passage, for it is beyond redemption.
He nods to a hooded attendant who begins untying her from the wheel. Anna was granted dominion of sleepers. You open your eyes to be beamed to the beamed ceiling of the palace's grand entry hall. The clangs of metal striking metal waft in from outside along the cries of the injured as you stagger to your feet. Theos is gone. Aelf hovers over you, worried etched into his face. Aldwyn, we've got to get out of here, fast. His eyes dart to the hall. After one side, you can hear the clinking rustle of chainmail, and you look over to see a wounded guard slumping against the wall. He's trying to say something, seemingly directed at you, but at first it is too faint to hear. He gathers his breath and manages to grasp out a few words. Lady Webb. She's the only... She must be told. She'll know what to do. Please, find her. Tell her everything. The guard passes out and slides onto the floor, still. Well, shit, son. Unfortunately, John, we're going to have to wait to the next part to continue on. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next part. See you guys then.